weight loss, hormone production, quick healing from injuries, and even a tan in a bottle. Can peptides really do all of that?
My doctor actually told me about peptides.
This overly husky man lost 10 pounds in 7 days.
I lost 13 pounds.
They do have some side effects.
That is a result that is hard to believe.
The demand for these medicines skyrockets.
If you're wondering what peptides are, why they're banned from most pro sports, if they're the same as steroids, and probably most importantly, if they're safe, this video is for you. Hey, my name's Lucas. I'm a yoga teacher and a nutritional coach. I am not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice, but I have a whole bunch of clients who are ordering this stuff online, not for human use peptides, and they're injecting themselves with experimental substances. I don't think it's a really great idea. Just to be clear, I am not pro-peptide. I am not anti-peptide. I think people should be able to do whatever they'd like to do with their body, but it's important that you have the right information before you turn yourself into a human guinea pig. Before we jump in, hit subscribe down below. It's just a simple way to support the channel. It means a lot and just takes a moment. So what are peptides? Peptides are short-chain amino acids. And amino acids in your body are the worker bees. They do all kinds of things, from metabolism to tissue regeneration to hormone secretion and everything in between. Your body produces over 7,000 different peptides itself, and when these peptides are taken in isolation, usually injected, sometimes with a nasal spray, sometimes orally, they have some very interesting drug-like, hormone-like effects. What many people assume is that peptides, they must be safe because our body makes them, but this is a misunderstanding. There are lots of natural things that are very dangerous. Peptides have the potential to be really interesting. In fact, there are some that are life-saving, but they also have the potential to be very dangerous. It's also important to remember that about 60 different peptides are currently approved by the FDA for use. The most common of which would be insulin. For example, if you know a diabetic who uses insulin to manage their blood sugar, insulin is a peptide, and it's saved and helps millions of people every single day. Another common peptide, which you've no doubt heard about recently, is glucagon-like peptide 1, also known as semaglutide, also known as Ozempic or Wegovy. This is one of the biggest weight loss drugs in the world. Those are peptides. They are FDA approved, and hopefully people using them are going to see their doctor. However, there are a bunch of peptides that are not FDA approved. They've only been used in animals and in experimental humans, which are probably the ones that you saw online. This off-label gray market use really started around 2006, 2007 with a specific peptide that's called melanotan or melanotan 2. This peptide, it stimulates melanin. So it essentially makes someone who lives in northern England look like they spent the past decade in Sicily, for example. Very, very dark, almost freakishly dark tan. Now that sounds great. You don't have to go in the sun, you don't have to get a spray tan, you don't have to risk skin cancer. But it also does a bunch of weird things, like makes you nauseous, makes you vomit, loss of appetite. For men, it can give you spontaneous, uncontrollable erections. There is some indication that it's harmful for your liver, your kidneys, even your heart. Who really knows? This stuff is totally experimental. There's another category of peptides that you've probably heard about, and these are human growth hormone stimulating peptides, specifically one called sermorelin and ipamorelin. And these are available from your doctor, by the way, sermorelin specifically. So go see a doctor if you're interested. But what these peptides do is they stimulate the release of human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is like the youth hormone. It's great for your skin. It's great for recovery from the gym. It can help you with muscle growth and tissue healing, all of which sound wonderful. But human growth hormone also makes everything grow, like cancer tumors, like your prostate, for example. It could potentially cause liver and kidney complications, heart complications, and more. You should not be messing around with human growth hormone or your endocrine system in general without doctor's supervision. It's not that these things don't work. They wouldn't be banned in pro sports if they didn't. It's that they're very, very dangerous and you're messing around with foundational systems in your body. Another category, the final category that we'll talk about of peptides that are in popular use right now in bro science and pop culture, they're called the Wolverine peptides. One called BPC 157 and the other called TB 500. They're often paired together and they're believed to accelerate soft tissue healing. That would be ligament tendon issues, cartilage issues. You imagine an athlete that's injured their knee, someone who has a rotator cuff injury. That would be really, really great. However, they're unproven, All of this is anecdotal, and again, the side effects are really unknown. Now, is it possible that these drugs will be approved and they will be utilized and help millions of people the same way insulin and semaglutide have? Yes, it's totally possible. Is it possible they will discover that they cause, who knows, neurological problems, liver damage, kidney problems, heart? Also, all of these things are possible. Where I'm going with this is you need to understand these people you see online, on TikTok, on Instagram, these fitness influencers and celebrities. In many cases, their body is their business. And for you and I, that's not the case. Our business is our family and our kids and our lifestyle, and we're optimizing for health span, not to look good on an Instagram feed. What that means is for someone who's a fitness model or a celebrity, they're willing to be human guinea pigs and inject themselves with tanning injections and inject themselves with weird compounds that maybe will heal up their knees so they can play another day of their preferred sport. But for all of us, much better to work with your endocrinologist, your hormone doctor, so you can get proper guidance. The real risk with at-home use is people go online, they find these compounding pharmacies, often in foreign countries, and they'll order these peptides. These peptides come in a powder and they need to be reconstituted. Then they buy insulin needles and they inject them in most cases. But these peptides, first of all, because you're buying not for human use, there's no quality control, there's no overseeing body, you have no idea about purity or potency. You could be buying something that's totally inert or something that's completely mislabeled. Who knows? Peptides themselves are very difficult to store and manage. They're very delicate, meaning they get damaged really easily. And also dosing is surprisingly complicated. Just spend a couple of minutes on Reddit and really quickly you'll see that most people don't know the difference between a milligram or a microgram, and people are dosing this much and other people 10 or 20 or even 100 times as much. So misdosing, overdosing, megadosing, all over the place. And yes, you can also find countless stories of negative side effects. Bloating, diarrhea, nausea, those are on the light side. Suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety, those are on the heavy side. Really, it's a big question mark. It doesn't make any sense. The most important thing to remember is that endocrinologists, this is a profession. Hormone doctors are a thing. You can go see one. Hormones in your body, they don't work independently. They very often, when one topples, the other topples, or when one goes down, another goes up. You don't want to mess around with things as important as your sex hormones or human growth hormone without professional help. On forums and online boards, you'll find people saying, just get your blood tested, but you won't know what to look for. It's also important to remember when you mess up your hormones, sometimes these changes can be long-lasting or even life-lasting. Again, I'm not pro-hormone or anti-hormone. I'm not pro or anti-peptide, but you should go see an endocrinologist. Go see a doctor, and if and when it makes the most sense, then you can start experimenting with different interventions, whether that's peptides, whether that's hormone replacement, or anything in between. Hope you found this video helpful. If you would like more science-based yoga videos and health videos, hit subscribe down below. If you have experience with peptides, good, bad, or otherwise, love to hear from you in the comment section. Lastly, you can find my teaching calendar at yogabody.com. I have a program there called YOGABODY Daily if you'd like to train with me. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.